a map has a scale of 1 to 1,000. So every 1 essentially represents 1,000, and we're talking about distance here. So, you know, if we were to measure a centimetre on the map, that would actually represent 1,000 centimetres in reality. Okay, and that's what happens. Maps are scaled down versions of locations of countries and places and so on. Now, in this case, we've got a scale of 1 to 1,000. So it says then Tara measures 4 centimetres on this map. What distance does this represent in metres? Okay, so they want the representation in metres, but she measures 4 centimetres. So remember what I said a moment ago, you know, every 1 represents 1,000. So because Tara measures in centimetres, then that means 1 centimetre would essentially represent 1,000 centimetres in reality. Okay, so that's what that ratio there is representing. So Tara actually measures 4 centimetres. So this will become how many centimetres here? Well, if you think about it, we scale this up. I've times this by 4, haven't I? So 4 centimetres would actually represent 4,000 centimetres in reality. Okay. So our distance, our required distance, is 4,000 centimetres. Okay. But then they want us to represent this in metres. So what's this in metres? Well, you need to know how many centimetres are in a metre. Okay. So 1 metre is of course 100 centimetres. So to change this to metres, we just need to see how many 100 are in here. Okay, how many 100 centimetres in here will give us how many metres. And you know, you might be able to see it straight away, or we could just think about what I just said, how many hundreds are in there. So we just divide it by 100, and if you set it out like this, it's quite nice, isn't it? Because the zeros will cancel. That 0 cancels with that 0. That 0 cancels with that 0. So we're dividing by 100 to see how many are there, and we get 40. Okay, so the actual distance is 40 metres. Part B then, this is a plan of a new house build, has a scale of 1 to 25. So Philip measures 8 centimetres on this plan. What distance does this represent in metres? So every 1 centimetre then would represent 25 centimetres in reality. Okay, but Philip measures 8 centimetres. So, okay, 1 centimetre represents this. But what would 8 centimetres represent? Let's think about what we've got to do. What do we do to 1 to get to 8? And of course, we scale it up. We times it by 8. But that means we need to make this 8 times bigger as well. 25 times 8. Okay? And times it by 8 is actually really easy, because you just like when you times by 4, when you times by 4, you double it and double it again. But when you times by 8, you double it, and double it. So it's 3 times you're doubling. So if I double 25, I get 50. If I double it again, I get 100. And then if I double it again, I get 200. Okay, so actually 8 centimetres on the map represents 200 centimetres in reality. And then if the distance is 200 centimetres, well, of course, we know because 1 metre is 100 centimetres, that would represent 2 metres, wouldn't it? Okay, so 2 metres is what the 8 centimetres represents on our plan.